We're going to talk planner then. I love planner. I don't know about y'all, but I love planner. One of my absolute favorite tools like ever. Let me share my screen, bring up the guy here. And it's one of those things where it's kind of nice to know all the things you know, but sometimes you know too many things and they all blur together. Okay. Planner is one of our favorite toys. So who am I? I'm Shari Oswald. They call me Shortcut Shari. I'll put up my contact slide information. And let me share my screen with you so you can see my screen. Right. How many of you are currently using Microsoft Planner? Raise your hand. Sharon, Jonathan, I know you are. Cool. Anybody else? Hi, Hal. Good to see you. Josh, use it. Okay, great. So Planner to me, when it first came out, I was like, oh, open, open, open. I wanted it so bad. They kept talking about it, and they're like, you know, we need to use this for managing our tasks, and I wanted it for my honey-do list. I don't know how many of you have a honey-do list for your hub or significant other, right? Very cool stuff. They have a kind of a drag and drop interface, and I'm thinking, I want this. Well, then I found out that you can't really have a personal plan, which made me sad. So hopefully they keep talking about that. I think they're calling them roster plans, but they haven't, even though like 4 years ago they announced you're going to have your own personal plans, but now there's some gotchas when you create a planner. But let's explore a planner that we typically see. So this one might be a plan for a project. So how is Planner built out? Planner is meant to be, first of all, collaborative. It needs to be people that are working together and they're managing tasks. And so the good news is everybody has all the same permissions on the planner board. The bad news is everybody has the same permissions on the planner board. And why do I say it like that? Because you can't lock down like who can add, who can delete, who can move things. None of that is available. So you have to pretty much trust everybody who's involved in your plan. And I always tell people, imagine somebody took a whiteboard and they drew vertical lines on that whiteboard with a Sharpie marker and handed you a stack of sticky notes. Said, let's manage our tasks from here. All right, okay, cool. So that's what this might look like. We have these vertical lanes, which we call buckets, that allow you to organize your tasks. So if I have, you know, here's engineering, things they're working on, here's what manufacturing is working on, and here's the launch. The nice thing about this is everything is drag and drop. So after this functional spec is written, maybe manufacturing now needs to work on that specification. I can simply drag and drop it over and put it in their bucket. So sometimes it's by like work stream. Other times you might see them by phases of a project. So phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, or you might see things that are, if you're working in a agile pace for a project, you might see this is the backlog and here's sprint 1, sprint 2, sprint 3. Keeping track of what that content is. So that content is. All right, so if I go to an event plan, you can see we have different types of buckets. We have to-do, we have presentation, we have press, we have venue. So it's by who is kind of managing what. So here's my team travel, same thing. We've got a lot of overdue tasks here. Obviously, my demo tenant is a little dated. So we need to be able to manage those tasks and work on them. Now, beyond just like the people it's assigned to, the name of the task, if you click on that, it opens a task card. And the task card has different fields. So you have which bucket is assigned to, what's the progress, what's the priority, start date, due date, and it would, this is new. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we always get little Easter eggs as consultants and presenters. This has been something that everybody has been asking for, and that's the repeat. Like, how often does this repeat? Can I get it?
Oh my God.
Right? Okay, so I'm not the only one. Have we not been waiting for this? Like with bated breath for years? Thank you so much.
Forever.
Yeah. So even though we're certified in these programs, they still surprise us even when we're in the middle of a presentation. So dun, da, da, here's the reveal. Hopefully it's in your tenant. If not, it's probably coming out soon. These demo tenants are updated and current usually, whether we like it or not. All right. So the notes field is a description or notes, and this is a static field. If you change it, it updates it, and the history of it is gone. So you can add notes to this section, or at the bottom, you have comments, which is like a thread. So you can say, I need to update the status on this. I click send. Now, why am I clicking send? Because it actually notifies all the people that are assigned to this task and sends them there's been an update on your task. Right, so this is a thread, so it's ongoing. So you can put it in the notes and replace it, or you can have an ongoing conversation or status checks on that task. Here's one of my favorite things. That's the checklist. You can add a checklist for these. So we have, let's say, complete expense form, submit to accounting. Bad thing about this is we have 4 people assigned to it. This checklist is just one person. It's just one checklist. You can't have a checklist per person, or we'd have to duplicate the task. Okay. And then attachments can be many things. You can attach files from your computer, your team files, or a link to somewhere else. So if there's resources, maybe you want to let them know where the expense form is. You can create a link to that form. Or you submit it to accounting, maybe there's a process for that. You can create a link to that. Or if you have the actual expense form that you want to attach, you can put that here. All right, so that's the task card. Little best kept secret is this show on card option. If I deselect that, you can show different things on the card. The description, oh, they're not letting us put the description on there anymore. It used to be able to kind of pick and choose what we showed on the card, but it looks like maybe if I close it, open it again, let's see. Nope. Okay. So if you want the checklist on the card so people can see it as they're working, kind of helpful. All right. So what are some of the best kept secrets of Planner now that we kind of know what it is and how it works? There are different views at the top that I think people ignore. There's a new one called Grid View. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. This was called List View over in Teams, and it was not available in Planner. And this is one of my favorite views. So guess what? We now have this view of Planner, and I'll show you in a minute why this is my favorite view. All right, board, charts, schedule. I know, Jonathan, are you so excited too, right? So you can kind of see the status of your tasks if you need to, everybody's kind of not getting their job done here. It's all red. It's not a good thing. Our board view, that is the standard. Schedule is a calendar view of that. And look, we can hide or show the recurring tasks. And then under the little dot, the more options menu, here are some very cool things that you should know about. The first one is the plan settings. They're all white on white on white. Oh my gosh, I can't tell which plan I'm in. And I have 2 different event plans over on the left-hand side because I'm managing different events. How do I know which is which just visually? This is probably one of my favorite things. You can change the plan name. So instead of being event plan, it could be Mark 8 event plan. And then give it a color. So there's some kind of background that indicates which one you're in. You can also turn on and off the notification. So as a task is assigned to a person, as the owner of this planner board, you can say that people are going to get assigned or sent an email when a task is assigned to them. I always think that's a great idea because otherwise they just kind of slip past you. As a member of a board, you can have, you can turn on the notifications for yourself. So someone assigns a task to me, yes or no, assign a task to me is late due today, because planner becomes your mama. She says that your tasks are due today, your tasks are due yesterday. She'll say your tasks are coming up. She sits there and nags you. So you get notifications on those. You can turn those off if you prefer. All right. I prefer them because you know what, I forget. I'm going to go back to the board view. And now that's a little bit more visually appealing to me than white on white on white. So if you want to give it a little pizzazz, that's a big one. All right, tied to this, here's the best kept secret of Planner. It actually is part of an Office 365 group, good or bad. We have behind the scenes, there's an entire SharePoint site. There is a OneNote notebook. We have conversation in Teams if we need that. You have a lot of artifacts in the background that are created when you create a plan, which is why when you create a new plan, you have to be aware of that. So if I go to the new plan and I say, I want this to be Shari's tasks, and I say private, only members can see the tasks. Maybe I want to create a description. Always create a description in everything because everything in Microsoft 365 is searchable. It's our job to make it findable, and that's how we use these description fields. So this is Shari's plan. I create a plan. And why does it take so long to create the plan? Because it's creating an Office 365 group called Shari's Tasks. It's creating an email address. It's creating a SharePoint site. It's creating all the things that are associated with the group. So this is a gotcha. Microsoft does not allow you to create your standalone plans yet. Hopefully, like the grid and the recurring task, it'll just magically pop up as an option during another future presentation. That would be fabulous. All right, on the right-hand side, group by bucket. This is a great way to manage your tasks. So I have assigned to, right now it's group by bucket, group by assigned to. So here's Megan and Adele. If Alex is leaving, going to be on vacation, I now want Adele to work on, I can quickly drag and drop and move it to her. The gotcha on this one is unless somebody has stuff assigned to them. So just like Nestor, if I move this over to Patty, watch what happens. Oh, he has completed tasks, so he's not going to go away. Let's do that one. You see, now I don't have a bucket for that person because there's nothing assigned to them and they haven't completed anything. So you may have to go in and reassign that item to somebody else if you want their bucket to show up. Okay. Once they're there, you can move around. Now notice this one is assigned to 3 different people. So the same task is going to be in 3 people's buckets. If I move it from Isaiah over to Nestor, it just reassigns it from Isaiah to Nestor. It doesn't take away the assignments of the other people. Okay. So just be aware when you're moving them, that's a good thing. By progress. Let's say these are completed and these ones are in progress. Simply drag and drop and you can move them. Due date. Here's another one that's a little tricky. We have a lot of overdue tasks right now. So we have a late bucket and a future bucket. If I go in and assign something to be due tomorrow, for example, so it's just, can you believe it's December already? Holy heck. All right. Now I have a tomorrow bucket. My screen just flashed. Is it still sharing?
You're fine.
Okay. I see a moon and a earth thing on mine. Okay. Just want to make sure.
I think it's just somebody sharing their video.
Okay. Okay. So we have now we have a tomorrow bucket, and unless you have a date. So if I have one for next week, let's go ahead and make this one next week, December. All right, now I have a next week bucket. So until again, you have a task assigned to a specific time frame, there won't be a bucket, but now I can move and drag and drop them between my current buckets. All right, labels. Labels are another way of organizing your stuff. A task can only be in one bucket at a time. Your labels let you create different ways to sort and organize your content. So the labels, you have 25 colors that you get to customize for each of your plans. And you can, let's say this one's bronze, and I want to call this the VIP, or let's see, bronze is going to be development. Now I have that label, and I can assign that to multiple tasks. And when you group by label, it puts them in what appears to be buckets, but it gives, if this same task is going to be in label 2 and under development, which is over here. So kind of nice to be able to create different ways of sorting and organizing other than just by bucket. All right. So where these are by work stream with, you know, sorry. Or these are by work stream, I go back to bucket, engineering, manufacturing. Maybe I wanted to organize them in sprint 1, sprint 2, sprint 3. Those are going to be my buckets, but then I can use labels for what's engineering doing, what's manufacturing doing, and are we ready for launch? And then priority. This one's important, this one's low, this one's urgent. Again, dragging and dropping. Best kept secret of dragging and dropping using the different views. How many of you have learned something new already? Other than the new stuff that showed up. Nobody? Okay, I'll step up my game. There we go. All right, Angela. Cool. All right, the filter, I love this. So I have a plan. I'm just going to create a new plan so you can see this. These are going to be speaking events. And best practice is to add it to a existing group. So you want to make sure that people are working in this with you, assign it to the group, and or you see the option to create a new group instead. When we created the plan earlier, I just created it and didn't assign it to a group, and it didn't prompt me to let me know, oh, you know what, it's going to create a group anyway. All right, so I'm going to create this plan, and here is I'm going to group it back by bucket. So here are mine for my speaking events. I have dates are announced. For speakers. Content submitted. And then accepted and travel. All right. So my speaking events, this is one that I use for myself when I have a new event. So like M365 Philly, which is on Friday. I'm going to assign it to my counterpart here, my evil twin that I am today, Megan Bowen. And notice that I can create that task. Let's say we have now the M365 Twin Cities. Hit enter. So I'm just tabbing enter, tabbing enter. It lets you quickly create a bunch of tasks. So I have M365 Philly, I have Twin Cities, we have M365 Collaboration Conference. Next. So here's all my tasks, pretty plain. I want to assign them all to me. I want to put dates on them. The call for speakers has been announced. This is where this grid view is really cool, because this lets you edit multiple things at the same time. So instead of having to go into each card and assign it to Megan, I'm going to select them. Now here's the trick with this one. In Microsoft Lists, when we click the little circle, it selects them. In this grid view, if you do that, you mark it complete. So if you're going to select these, be sure you select kind of out here. And assignment is going to be Megan, and it's letting me, can I copy? Nope. Oh, come on. All right, I'm going to show you this in Teams because it works better than this. I don't like this, what they did. I was hoping that they created the list view in here too. Yeah, I can't copy it. And I can't edit more than one at a time. Oh, bugger. Okay. So I guess you can use the grid view so that you don't have to go into each one of them individually. But the problem is that we click this, it's going to mark it complete and it's done, right? So we can't select it. So again, this is new to me too, showed up. Let me show you the counterpart in Teams. So I'm going to go into Teams and under General, I'm going to add that same planner board. Task by planner and to do, which used to be green, but now it's purple like everything else. I'm going to use a speaking events. I love me some purple, but come on, let's get creative, okay? All right. What I like about here in this view, this is what I was hoping they did. I keep saying, why is this view not in Planner? Because in here, I can select multiple items and look at the top. I can say not started, in progress. I can assign it to more than one person at a time. So here's Megan. And see how it's assigning 4 things. And maybe I want these 2 to be assigned also to Nestor, right? Thank you. I don't want to have to go into each card and update every single one of them. And I was just really hoping what they had done over here with this new grid view was the same thing. Obviously not, but they have in Teams. They don't have it in a planner. I don't want. But, all right, so these ones are high. Oops, see, I just did it again. Don't mark them complete. All right, progress. Yeah, see what I just did to myself? Okay. It's a hard habit to break, not to select those little circles. All right, I'm going to move these. The dates have been announced and I've done the call for speakers, so I'm going to update those. Everything you do in this view is reflected in this view. So I'm going to go back to board view and you can see they've been moved to the call for speakers. And these 2 have been completed, which is not what I wanted. I'm going to change this back to in progress. All right, very cool. All right, so use that list view to edit not only the assignment, the priority, the due date, the bucket, the label. You also have under, don't forget to hit the little dot, 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 so we can move the tasks between different plans and we can delete. So you can do bulk updates in the Teams view. Do I get an ooh, ah on that one? Good stuff. All right. So what else can we add to these? Let's talk about creating a standard template, because for every conference I have the same steps, right? Same ones right here. Announce, call for speakers, content submitted, accepted. So I'm going to create a little template. So new conference and enter. Oh, come on. So what are my steps when I have a new conference I'm going to speak at? Okay, dates are announced. Call for speakers. Content. Jonathan and Sharon, how do you track your stuff? Submit content. This is my sanity.
SharePoint list.
Okay. Fonts. Social media, like I always like do my social media posts and travel.
Mine has become a very complex beast, so.
What's that?
All of this it becomes a very complex beast.
It does. It does. Because there's a lot to it, but it seems simple, but there's a lot to it, right?
Like a full-time job, man.
Exactly. Yeah, I need somebody just to manage my stuff. Okay. So this one is this is a conference for our speaking events. The next time I have a new conference, one of your options is to copy this task. So if you copy it, and let's say the next conference that's coming up is M365 New England. And I'm waiting for the dates for them. Now, when you copy the task, you have an option of what you want to copy with it. Do you want the labels? Do you want the attachments, the checklist, description? Those are by default, dates, progress, and assignment. So if you don't want to copy, because it's all gonna be brand new, click copy, and now I have a new item. So maybe I'm waiting for dates on this one, because it's gonna be 2023 when we have this. So you can create a task from an existing task so that you don't have to start over from scratch. Now I wish with Power Automate, you could say, create a new task using this one as the base, but they don't do that yet either. All those wish list things that we wish these fabulous developer people would put in that sometimes take years. All right, so creating a task by automatically from another task. But what if I have this same event? Maybe I have somebody who tracks our travel or plans our travel. Now I want them to be able to see, you know, what's the location and what are the dates and all of that. So maybe I say this is going to be in October 2023. Oh, it didn't copy my checklist. I should have copied the checklist. All right. And you know, where is it going to be located? Maybe I have an attachment for like a request for travel. I don't want to leave it on this board. I want to move it to another board. So this is what one of the new things that I like. I can move this task or copy this task, not just to this plan, but to another plan. So maybe I have this in Shari's tasks and click copy. I still have a copy here. I have another copy in Shari's task. They are no longer synchronized. So they're two completely separate tasks. Just keep that in mind. It doesn't allow you to create synchronized copies across plans yet. Would be nice. We'll see if that happens. If you have an entire plan like this that you want to reuse, you can set it all up and have your, I always have like a bucket with task templates that I can recreate and use again. And you can copy the plan. So you copy the entire plan. And let's say these are community events. And again, what group do I want to assign that to? Maybe I do that in my Mark 8 project team. What do we want to copy? The priority, the dates, description, checklists. Now I have another plan or that's created in that other site, which I can use, and it's already created. So use your lovely options to copy your plan. You can change the plan settings after they're over, you know, after you've created the plan, you can customize the plan settings. You also have, again, all the Office 365 stuff behind the scenes for a SharePoint site, a OneNote notebook, and Microsoft Teams. If you teamify it. Okay. Any questions? Comments, favorite things? No? Okay. Cool. All right. Planner, another big, I don't know, benefit, in my opinion, is the ability to track your tasks in Planner using To Do. So under your apps, all apps, you have Microsoft To Do. And this, by the way, is on your phone. You have these for your checklist. I like Planner and To Do for tracking my tasks. I like To Do because it's kind of like my little personal checklist, you know, things like dropping off the dry cleaning or going to the grocery store. You can add those to plan into To Do, and it's kind of your personal, but you also have two other things in here that I think are important under flagged email. So if you have your emails turned on, you can, when you flag an email with a To Do, those will show up here. Under planned, these are the things that are planned from different plans. You can see this one's from the Mark 8 project plan. This one's from client follow-up. This one's from the product launch event. these are tied together. So you can prioritize things. These are the things that are overdue. So I'm take the dog for a walk. I bet that dog is like really hating life right now because that's from 2014. Book your flights overdue from Saturday. So these you can add, if you right click add to my day, this helps you to prioritize what you need to get done. So main deck review, I'm going to right click and add to my day, schedule a meeting, add to my day. And now each day you have a prioritized checklist. So I do this on paper because I need it in front of my face. But sometimes I need these when I'm traveling and I got to remember to get some certain things done, even if I'm not currently, online or have access to the internet with my computer. So that doesn't do me any good. So I do that on my day in my to-do app, and I kind of flag the stuff that I know I need to get done on that specific day. So under planner, let's say I go to this main deck, or let's do the book your own flights, market event plan. When I mark that, oh, ding, I get a little ding. When I go back to my market project plan, so this one, here's my completed task. There's the proposal written. Where's the plan travel? Plan your own travel. I don't see it. Maybe it didn't synchronize. All right, let's try it the other way. Book your own flights in the event plan. Let's try that one. How am I going to find that one? Here's where that filter comes into play. Right there. So completely synchronized, supposed to be, if you know which ones are where, and tracks those for me, whether I mark it on my phone, whether I mark it in to do, whether I mark it in planner. So like book car service for the airport. If I go back here, that one's going to be marked as completed here as well. Cool stuff. Any of you using planner and to do together? Anybody not using to do? Peter, yeah, it's a really nice lightweight task management tool. And what I tend to use flags in my Outlook. If you have ever watched my Shari's tag and flag system on my YouTube, you know that I'm real big on using my tasks. When like Teams and everything came out, I was very frustrated because they didn't take into account that I'm really good at Outlook, and I didn't want to move to something like Teams. And now I'm in the boat. I'm actually in there. If you're looking for other tasks, here's some other best kept secrets. If you add task by planner and to do, if you work in Teams, there's no need to go out to planner if you don't want to. You can go to task by planner and to do on the side rail in Teams. If you don't see it, click the little dot, 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 and then select it. So if I, approvals, for example, is not on there yet. If I right click and click pin, then that puts that app on the rail in Teams. So now I have access to my planner and to do right from Teams if that's where I tend to work. So again, here's the assigned to me. So here's my to do, and here's my planner tasks that are assigned to me. Right, so you can add those, makes it easy. You can add them again to across on the tabs across the top if you need to add it to Teams, make it easy for people to find them. But what I like about this view is you can view the My Tasks across different plans. So if you're not, if you have multiple plans that you're working in, having to go to each plan and keep up to date on what's going on can be very, very overwhelming. In Planner, we have the Assign to Me option, and here's my grid view, board view, charts, and schedule again, but it's across multiple plans. So how do I know which plan they're in? It says speaking events, event plan, product event, launch event. It'll tell you which plan it's in, or you can group it by plan. So I can see what I have to do for each one, by progress, by due date, and by priority. So again, simply by dragging and dropping, I can make changes that roll back to the plans themselves, but these are the ones that are assigned to me so I can manage all of my own tasks in one place. Because I've been using Planner quite a bit. I've got a lot of them, and trying to figure out what I need to get done. I don't need to go to how many are here, like how many plans am I a part of? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Trying to keep up with that individually, not fun. In Teams, it's automatically that view. Here's all of my content. So here's my tasks and assigned to me. This is all of them. And again, you can see the source, you can see the priority. And in this view, again, selecting multiple at a time, you can mark them complete. So why is this view not available in Planner? Planner team. Okay. Yes, I see
Excellent
that.
question.
What's that?
Excellent question.
Right. It's available in Teams. Why isn't it available in the native app? Well, web app, right? Because there's no desktop version of Planner. All right. Those are my best kept secrets of Microsoft Planner. Anybody else have some that they want to share? I'd like to learn new things too.
Or any questions, feel free to come off your mics or chat in chat.
It's always more fun when we talk to each other.
Mm-hmm. Angela, I know you're in Planner a lot. Sarah, I don't think Sarah's on here because she had a different call. She's in Planner a lot.
I am. I mean, life was made when the recurring task, when that ability was on, because that was really probably the holdback of why To Do made it user friendly for those recurring tasks, because To Do allowed you to do that. So now that Planner has opened that up, I feel like that was like a big life change. And the next one will probably be if they open it up to make your own plans that aren't making groups. So it's not, making kind of a mess in Planner.
Yep, 100%. And well, in Active Directory and all the other things, right?
Yeah.
You got a SharePoint site that's not being used. Kind of nice to have that, but people don't know that all that's, I can't tell you how many people are like, oh my gosh, I didn't know I created all those things. Because now that it says Shari's task in the
yes.
in the global address book.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
That's not good. Like, hide those things. Cool. Yeah, I'm excited to go play with this now. Because here, weekly, monthly, custom. Oh, just like week, month, year. Nice. Because these events that we speak at, for example, happen every year. And I want to be reminded, like when they do the call for speakers on January 10th, I want to make sure I go look for that again on January 10th next year, so that I don't have to, manually track which events are coming up. Mine, I actually have buckets for Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 that I monitor that those events typically happen in those timeframes, so that I know to go start looking for Q1 things. But sometimes they announce the call for speakers like right after the next one. So putting them in a bucket as to when they usually happen doesn't really help. But yeah, those recurrent tasks.
Dave's asking about a mobile app.
For Planner, not yet that I know of. Anybody know one? I think To Do is what they're considering. Oh no, we do. Yeah, we have a Planner app, don't we?
Planner has an app.
Yeah. I never use it. I always go to Do. Like,
in fact, two things. One, there is a Planner app that you can download and log into, and it looks very similar to what's on the web. Or two, if you have the Teams app and you tab Planner in Teams, you can actually see it in your Teams app. So you can kind of look at it. You can actually access the Planner functionality in Teams as well. Just kind of handy.
The Planner interface isn't bad either. It's like,
no, it's pretty decent.
It's pretty good for, converting it to a mobile. But yeah, but it's kind of, the buckets are screen by screen. which is, unless you've got them in a certain order, you'd have to scroll all the way over. If you've got 20 buckets, that would be a little unusable, but yeah.
I've been a big champion for Planner for a long time, and I have participated in multiple Planner AMAs and gotten on. So the Planner team, if you follow the Planner team on Twitter, they have done several AMAs where they will actually get on a call and you can join and you can ask questions, you can provide feedback. In addition, I feel like they look at the feedback that is provided in feedback. So I know I've participated with that quite a bit, like really speaking up for some of these things that we really want. And I do know there's a line kind of between Planner's designed to be a task management tool, whereas Project is a project management tool. And so I know that they always are trying to dance along that line and make sure that they're not turning it into truly a project management tool. But I think it's still got a lot of benefit as just a task management tool.
I agree. And it's kind of that sweet spot between using Excel and using Microsoft Project, because that's just a big undertaking. Microsoft Project is huge, and you can spend more time managing that file than actually getting anything done on the project, right? But it's nice, it's light, it's easy. But again, there's a trust factor because everybody has the exact same permission. If I go in here and just start deleting stuff or marking things complete and nobody noticed it or nobody saw it, then it's going to be, it's a little frustrating because somebody could get in there and make a big mess real fast because they're like, oh, I'm done with this. Well, you might be done, but 3 other people have assignments on that task too. So don't mark it complete. Or they go in unknowingly in the lovely table view of Planner like this.
Yeah, and mark theirs off.
Yeah, and think, oh, I'm going to select this, this, and this, and realize they marked it complete and it's not been done. Yeah. So this is a great view, but it's also very dangerous because as you saw, there was no undo. I had to go back into the planner board, or I can change this to completed and uncomplete, decomplete what I marked completed. So that's a little frustrating.
So I went ahead and put the feedback link for Planner in the chat. So if you guys have, if you want to read through what's already in there, or if you want to vote anything up, if you want to add your own, you'll notice that it's really nice. I mean, they do a pretty decent job of reading and responding. So
I'm sorry, I want to say Hermione because I'm a Harry Potter fan, but it's Hermione said it would be nice to have planner tasks aligned to project, MS project tasks. And there was an attempt to do that at one point, and you could in Microsoft Project have it aligned to a planner board, but it did not go well. I think they took it away because I recently tried it because it was like, you can't do that. I'm like, no, you can. I've seen it, and it's not there anymore. Or they took it away because it was so bad.
Well, once again, it's the idea that Planner is a task management tool and Project is a project management tool with tasks that are part of that. And I think that they were struggling with basically merging 2 products into one place.
Right. And my other thing that I would like from Planner is to be able to have additional columns, like customizable columns that you can add, so you're not just stuck with with these. I want it. Oh, look, see, this one doesn't have the recurring in there. Interesting.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Or there's so in Teams it didn't show up, but it did in the other one, didn't it? In Planner. Okay, Microsoft, let's get this stuff going. All right.
I've provided that feedback a few times. The way that we've gotten around that for our tip is that we use the flags, the categories. So the colored categories in Planner, the labels. Yeah, there you go. So you can actually make those labels whatever you want them to be with the little pencils next to them. And ultimately, if you want to have kind of customizable fields, you can make those categories whatever you want to name them. And then you can actually do a view where you can sort it, or you can actually view it by category. And that kind of gives you one more option where you can kind of have a little bit of control over configuration and customization.
Yeah, my problem with that is that they stay in this order. So if I'm using this one it doesn't, if I've customized this one or assigned it, to me, those should be at the top. You shouldn't have to go through all of them in order to get to the label that you're looking for. So if I change this one to community, and I want to assign this to community, my customized, the ones I've customized to me should be at the top, not at the bottom. Instead of the standard.
Feedback.
Yeah, because otherwise I've got to dig through them all. And like you're saying, there's 25, you can use them for whatever you want to create basically what might be a drop-down list, you know, otherwise. But, you know, they've talked about allowing customization, but now that they have the board view of SharePoint lists, Microsoft lists, that changed the game for me, because now I can use my lists, which are completely customizable, and use it like planner. So
love it.
Yeah. They're giving us, everybody's like, oh, you know, which tool do I use when? Because they give us so many options. You just got to use the sharpest tool for the job. And if you're needing custom stuff, you want to track like which, you know, which team this is applied to or something, and not want to have to customize the labels, then, you know, maybe SharePoint's a better, or if you need workflows around them based on what a selection is in a specific column, then you know, using that board view, I think, is a good idea.
Shari, I posted the link to the limits as well.
Okay, do you want to share what those are, Jonathan?
So essentially, you have a limit of how many tasks you can create, how many tasks you can have assigned to you, how many planners you can create, how many planner tasks you can create. That doesn't sound like it's a big deal until you have an automation system that is creating planners and tasks. At which point you have to know if the user account that is creating those plans and those tasks, you need to be able to track how many they've created, because if you hit the limit of what is it, 2,000 tasks, I think, 20,000 tasks created by a user. So if you've created 20,000 tasks with your user, it just won't let you do anymore.
Oh, wow.
And then your provisioning fails and you don't know why. And then you have to get with the team that's in charge of making new users. And it's not just a matter of increasing the limit or resetting the user. You have to get a new user.
Oh, wow.
Sounds like you
But
might
you
have
don't want to get
experience
rid
with
of that
this.
user because it's the owner.
In general, though, typically, you know, I mean, that's from an automation perspective. If you're doing it individually, unless you're making a heck of a lot of tasks, it'll take you a while to get there. But yeah, it's definitely a good limit to think about, you know, especially from the perspective of if one person is making all the tasks versus if multiple people in the group are making different tasks. That's helpful too, because then it's tied back to that user.
Right. Yeah, and like maximum checklists items in one task is 20. Honestly, I think that's silly. If you have 20 checklists in one task, you probably should have broken it into more tasks.
I agree with that. Yeah. Well, and that's a little gotcha on those too, because when you go into the tasks in the checklist, like this is item 1, item 2, item 3, you can reorder them by dragging and dropping them. What people tend to do is they use this little arrow up because they think that's going to move it up in the order, and it actually promotes it to its own task.
Oh, that's cool.
So, yeah, so if you go to the go back to I'm in my own. So here's item 1. See how item 3 is now its own thing. So if you need to break it out and make another checklist out of it, you could. But most people that I see, they think they're moving it up in the list and it makes it its own task. They're
Yep.
like, oops. And then you can't put it back. There's no way to make it go, no, go back down, because now it's its own
That
task.
was, I was gonna say, yeah, if you promote it out to be its own task, you can't put it back in.
Right.
You can't
put the genie
demote it.
back
You
in
can
the
only
bottle.
promote it.
Yeah. So,
That would be the planner equivalent of all of those SharePoint pages that say currently editing by this person.
right. Exactly. Too funny. I'm going to give you my contact information. Sorry, I was trying to pull up my slide deck and there we go. Wasn't cooperating. So feel free to reach out to me. They call me shortcut Shari, Shari. So just have to remember how to spell my name. And I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter. I do Waffle Wednesdays once a month. I'm taking December off. And so I'm going to start with a whole new series in January where I do all productivity on Wednesdays, one Wednesday a month. And then I do Tip Tuesdays every Tuesday, tips and tricks. So feel free to reach out to me. My courses are on LinkedIn Learning, Pluralsight, and then I have a Power Bites portal, which has training. If you're interested in a freebie, 30 days, I'll put this in the chat for you so you can get access to that. And I'd be happy to give you a free trial if you want to learn more about Planner or any of the Microsoft Office products. It's all big courses broken down in little tiny bites, so you can learn something in a minute and 30 seconds, or you could take the whole class if you want. Cool. I know we're getting close to time. Thank you, Sharon. As always, you are fabulous, and I enjoy speaking with your group. Always a good one. And hopefully at some point we can get back in person and, hang out. Good stuff. Yeah.
Thanks for coming and sharing your time with us and sharing your knowledge with us. I think we learned a lot of fun new things today, and always happy to have you here.
Thank you so much. Cool.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for being here, and happy holidays, and see you in January.
Hey. Take care.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Shari.
You're welcome. Thank y'all.